Heated argument between brothers ends deadly. Over 100,000 Guyanese fully inoculated. In the region, concerns rise in Chile over the efficacy of Chinese-developed vaccines, and internationally, millions in India at risk as fuel and food costs increase. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. A heated argument this morning has left one brother dead and the other facing the full force of the law. Dead is 24-year-old Paul Chase of Norton Street, Georgetown, who was stabbed to death by his older brother, 27-year-old Quincy Reynolds, around 8:30 a.m. this morning at Cummins Street, Georgetown. According to an eyewitness, the two brothers were upstairs with their mother arguing when she heard the mother rebuking one of the sons for something he did.
Right? There's a lot of stuff, bring down all things. So I was fetching all the things, and the two brothers, one was there earlier, and then another one came and was upstairs. The two brothers are upstairs now, and the mother, from downstairs now, I hearing the mother rebuking him about something what he did, right? And rebuking one of them, something that they did, and they got the arguments, to and fro, the mother and the son talking, cross talking. Then next thing I know, I heard the other one saying, "By why you cuff mommy?"
She beat the mother.
Mother, right? So when I heard that now, and then the one said, "Oh, you're going with it for a knife," and then I left downstairs and I went upstairs. When I went upstairs, I saw them still quarreling. So I put the one that had the knife in his hand to sit down, and I spoke to him. I said, "Man, I have little children like you, and even if you want to talk to your heart, there's nothing wrong with that.
Correct.
You know me, you need to walk up here, even if you can back chat and think, you don't want no right here in your mouth." And so forth. And I don't say, "No, I'm watching them, and still get it talking." Then he started to attack it. That one now, take over, finish with the mother and started quarreling. And the brother said, "Man, he was like sharp, talking me and things, and you know what I mean? And so, the next thing I know, he started asking me for some more. And I said, "I no money to give him." And with this, he jump up and attack this brother.
The police were subsequently called in. The body of the deceased was taken to the Lycan Funeral Home for an autopsy. Quincy Reynolds was arrested at the scene pending an investigation. President Irfan Ali has removed Haitians' automatic 6-month stay upon landing in Guyana, requiring them to get permits to travel here. The president's order, except for Haitian diplomats, remove Haitians from the list of nationalities that can enter the country without a visa. This follows reports of Haitians and Cubans accused of being involved in human trafficking. A huge human trafficking and smuggling organization, including children, has long been suspected in the region, with Guyana functioning as a transit hub. Attorney General Anil Nandlal said it was apparent that Haitians were being trafficked through Guyana as part of a well-organized human smuggling network based on trends for several months. According to officials, the majority of Haitians arrived in French Guiana via Suriname and Brazil. Last week, 10 Haitians alleged they were unlawfully transported to Guyana via Suriname and stayed at a hotel for several days after their passport and other documentations were taken away. Nandalal has urged the aviation minister to notify the Ghana Civil Aviation Authorities, all airlines, and the CEOs of the Chedi Jagan International Airport and the Eugene F. Correa International Airport of the change in law. Don't go away. 2 men appeared in court for simple larceny, and over 100,000 Guyanese fully inoculated.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop price smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Are you looking for men's suits for that wedding, prom, or special party? Or maybe you need to update your wardrobe with a modern fit or a new color for work? Search no more, because John Lewis Styles is the perfect men's. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Tastes so good. It's got to be made with Alabama Baker wheat flour. Produced from quality soft winter wheat and quality enzymes to give a superior product that's guaranteed to be luscious, delightful to taste, and stays fresher longer. Alabama Baker wheat flour is perfect for breads, roti, puri, pastries, chow mein, pastas, and many other delights. Imported and distributed by Alabama Trading. 6566 Robb Street, Borda, and 23 Lombard Street. Telephone 225-5800.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony said 229,846 persons have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, representing approximately 47.2% of the country's adult population, and some 103,029 persons, or 21.2% of the adult population, have received their second dose. Minister Anthony said the increase in second dose vaccination moves the country closer to beating the pandemic.
This is pretty good because by people having both doses, we are getting closer to herd immunity. We estimate that we'll have to get at least 8% of our adult population vaccinated with both doses. So this is a step in the right direction. We are now at approximately 21%. We still have a far way to go, but I think if we work with people and get them to come and get both doses, then Guyana would be much better off.
While the number of persons taking the second dose has increased, there has been a decrease in persons taking the first dose.
We have seen a relative decline in first dose vaccination. And initially we thought perhaps because of the flood people were not coming forward. But in some of those areas, the flooding has eased up, and we're not seeing people coming out. So we will do some assessment. We have been talking to the RHOs in those regions. They have been reporting that people are a little bit more hesitant, and so we'll have to see what is driving that hesitancy and then work on maybe demystifying some of the things that people have in their mind. So we'll have to continue working on that.
Meanwhile, Region 1 continues to lead the vaccination campaign, with almost 60% of its adult population receiving the first dose of the COVID vaccine. 2 men appeared in court yesterday, both charged with larceny. More from Mr. Sobers.
On Thursday, 2 men appeared in court, both charged with larceny. A 63-year-old unemployed man from number 72 Village Quarantine Berbice appeared before Springlands Magistrate Court to answer charges of simple larceny brought against him. He entered a not guilty plea. He was granted $50,000 bail, and the case was rescheduled for July 7, 2021. In addition, a 27-year-old laborer from Buxton East Coast Narara appeared before the Linden Magistrate Court to answer charges of break-in and larceny of Mark Thomas on the 22nd of June, 2021. At Old Karakara, Mackenzie, Linden. The man pleaded guilty to the charges and received a 6-month imprisonment. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away. Concern rise in Chile over efficacy of Chinese-developed vaccine, and millions in India at risk as fuel and food costs increase. But before that, here is the Demerara Harbour Bridge retraction schedule.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
For decades, milk has remained the same. Until now. Introducing the Great Dairy Full Cream Milk from Alabama Trading. Enriched with vitamins A to D and calcium to promote healthy teeth, strong bones, and vitality. Great Dairy Milk is delicious and fortified to encourage healthy cell growth within the body. No wonder it's the #1 brand of milk produced in Ireland. Now available nationwide in 400-gram packages at leading supermarkets and wholesale vendors. Distributed by Alabama Trading.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop Through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop Price Smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Are you looking for men's suits for that wedding, prom, or special party? Or maybe you need to update your wardrobe with a modern fit or a new color for work. Search no more, because John Lewis Styles is the perfect men's suit store. Come see us on Waterloo Street, and our friendly staff will help you choose the perfect size, color, and fit. Complement that suit with a stunning shirt and tie, matching bow tie and suspenders, cufflinks, or even a pair of shiny dress shoes. You will love the way you look. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Chile has largely used Chinese-developed COVID-19 vaccines to ensure one of the highest vaccination rates in the world. But a recent surge in infections is causing concerns that the jabs developed by China's Sinovac biotech are not as effective against some strains of the virus. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman reports.
At this Santiago inoculation center, Luis Salinas takes his daughters to be vaccinated. But when they're told that the only vaccine available is CoronaVac, they change their mind.
Infections keep spreading. Hospitals are full. This vaccine is not what they promised. We want the vaccine they have in Europe and the US, where cases are dropping.
With that, they leave, like many others who came here to ask if the Pfizer vaccine was available. Chile became the envy of the region in January when it was able to purchase millions of doses of CoronaVac made by China's Sinovac laboratory. 65% of the target population has now been fully vaccinated, one of the highest rates globally. Yet unlike in the US, where infections dropped with inoculations, here they remain dangerously high. Epidemiologist Sandra Cortés concedes CoronaVac is not the silver bullet it was made out to be.
A large number of the population is inoculated with a vaccine that's not the most efficient to prevent transmission or prevent infection, but rather to reduce the number of deaths from COVID-19.
Data just out indicates that 37% of Chileans who are currently in critical care units were fully vaccinated. In recent weeks, elderly patients in ICUs have jumped from 10 to 15%. And to make matters worse, the health ministry has confirmed a case of the first person to enter Chile from the US infected with the Delta variant. Borders will remain closed for at least another 3 weeks.
We know that this variant is extremely contagious, so we have to be very much on alert to determine how to proceed.
On the upside, experts insist the Sinovac vaccine has significantly reduced mortality, is widely available here, and has little or no side effects. Professor Susan Bueno says the key is to vaccinate everyone.
We can have a very, very high quality, high effective vaccine, but this vaccine is not available to the whole population. It's not going to work either.
And with only a very limited number of Pfizer, Moderna, or AstraZeneca vaccines available, the consensus is that any of the WHO-approved vaccines, like Sinovac, is better than none. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Santiago.
And internationally, skyrocketing fuel prices in India are driving up the cost of food and other basic goods. This is putting pressure on millions of families. Al Jazeera's Elizabeth Punaram reports.
12-year-old Shoba cooks flatbread for her family on a fire made of wood and dried cow dung. Her mother Soni earns just over $3 a day when she gets work in the vegetable farms that surround their home. But she says they can't afford to buy gas for cooking.
It's really hard right now to take care of my family. Prices are going up. Lentils are $1.30 a kilo, so who's going to eat that? We don't buy anything to eat. We only eat the vegetables which grow in the fields and don't buy anything else because of the rising prices.
The price of essential items has been increasing in India during the past year. Cooking oil by 30%, fruits and vegetables by 12% and lentils by 10%. And that has had a big impact in a country where the average income is the equivalent of about $5 a day. One reason for the higher price of food is the cost of transportation.
Fruits are not for the poor because their prices are skyrocketing. And even vegetables, people buy half a kilo instead of one. Sales are low while expenses are high. Meanwhile, the fuel prices have already broken the backs of the poor.
The government has increased fuel prices up to 50 times this year, leading to protests earlier this month. On average, an Indian spends nearly a fifth of their daily wages on fuel.
India's inflation rate, which reflects an increase in the price of goods and services, was 6.3% in May. That is above the 6% threshold set by the Reserve Bank of India.
Economists say the rise in the price of food is more worrying than that of fuel.
This trend of food prices going up is going to get much worse, in which case is going to have a devastating effect on the urban poor in particular, and some of the rural poor, particularly those who are in non-agricultural activities and who actually buy their food rather than get them in kind.
The government distributes free rations to the poor, but the help doesn't reach everyone. Soni says she doesn't have the ration card that's necessary to get the food. Her children, including 9-year-old Gautam, are only attending classes because of the kindness of a few young people who are teaching for free. Soni wants Shobha to learn to cook and clean in case her free education stops, and she'll have to find work. Elizabeth Puranam, Al Jazeera, New Delhi.
Finally, there has been a movement to ban the fighting of roosters in Mexico. But for many involved, it is part of the country's national identity and a source of employment. Al Jazeera's John Holman has that story.
It's abhorrent to any animal rights activist, but in Mexico, this is big business and a tradition: cockfighting. Our team's been given rare access to what its organisers say is the biggest derby of this year anywhere in the world. 1,000 roosters fighting to the death across 4 days in the city of Pachuca for millions of dollars in bets. The crowds are so big that the brokers throw up tennis balls with slits in them to those far up in the stands to take their money. Our team saw gamblers place up to $1,000 bets on fights that last just 30 seconds. Cockfighting defenders say that this industry generates more than 500,000 jobs in Mexico.
As well as being part of our identity as Mexicans, the roosters are a source of employment, and that's also necessary for humans.
The rules are strict. The roosters are weighed before each match. But once they're in the ring, called a palenque, the fights are brutal. Ultra-sharp knives are bound to their legs, and even when wounded, they're placed back on their mark till the end.
Don't judge me. Judge nature itself. I haven't made them fight. Their genes do that. Genes they've had for 65 million years.
There's a growing movement in Mexico to ban cockfighting. Cesar, who's helped organise this mega derby, says he'll fight that till the end.
There's societal rejection, but my job is to fight for this in Congress, with politicians, with all society, on TV and radio, wherever an animal rights activist confronts me.
Some Mexican states have already acted to protect cockfighting, declaring it cultural heritage. Jose Luis and Victor, both rooster trainers, say that this is a valuable tradition with a mystical connection to the animals. As in all the other teams, each of them has a specific job. Jose Luis's is to let the roosters go once they're in the ring.
When I release them into the sand, there's a lot of connection. You have to have sensitivity if the animal is injured. Blow air into your rooster so that he lasts longer and wins the fight. So the connection between the releaser and rooster is really complete.
We asked him if he feels the death of his charges.
It can't affect you. You can't crucify yourself because you do several fights, and if you get caught up in that feeling, you'll get depressed, and that will get in the way of your job as a releaser.
In the end then, business and the tradition comes first. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Mexico.
That is all for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, stay safe and take care.